Just had a horrible tragedy in Virginia where I guess a disgruntled employee decided to shoot some folks who were actually doing an on-air stand-up. And I realized that in small stations, such as here in Missoula, in small markets, many times the folks who are out doing the everyday work are either alone or just one or two people, and the idea of security for those folks never really even comes into mind. You wouldn't even think about it. But if you could just give me your perspective on what this means to you as a news director here in a small market.
Well, the first thing that does come to mind is their safety, and it is not something we take lightly. I've been in this business 38 years, most of it in news, and we constantly tell reporters and people, photographers, people working in the field, there is no story that's worth your safety. There's just not. And if they feel like they are threatened, they need to leave, call the police, and forget about the story, worry about their own safety. This was a unique situation. This was a disgruntled employee, but TV news crews all across the country, large market and small market, have been robbed. There was one in California. They were robbed. I mean, they were shooting a story, and someone came up and stole their camera and stole their equipment right off the street. They have been threatened. TV news crews do get threatened, when they're out doing a story. Some people don't want to have them, they're shooting a story, so they will, get threatened. In that case, they're supposed to, leave, call the police. We've had to not here, but in my experience, I've had to call the police a few times for reporter safety, to send them out to where they are or to make sure that they are safe. Most people are good people, but every now and then you do get these tragic situations, and it does make, when somebody has a camera, it makes them a bit of a target.
Well, especially in volatile situations, we don't have a whole lot of racial tension here in western Montana, but I having lived in the South for a good part of my life, I can just imagine in covering areas where there is tension or a potential riot situation, that reporter and the crew is definitely in danger. Do any of those stations ever send along any security, or at least someone to just kind of keep a lookout to make sure everything's going to be okay?
A lot of stations do. I was working in Tulsa at a station when the riots first erupted in Ferguson over a year ago, and we sent a crew up, but we sent a crew with exactly that reason, 2 extra people. So we sent 4 people, and with the mandate they stay together. And if, they were not to insert themselves into the volatile situation, they were to shoot it from afar, and if they couldn't do that, don't shoot it at all.
Gotcha. All right. So as you go forward as news director, now how long have you been here in Missoula, Julie?
Well, I've been with NBC Montana since November. I started in Bozeman and worked there for about 4 months, then came here in April.
Okay, so as you move forward, just kind of getting your feet wet in the Missoula community, will this experience that happened in Virginia help to guide you in where you send your news crews?
This experience and even past experience always play a part in where we send our news crews. If we feel that we're sending a person to a place that may not be the safest, we do one of 2 things. We send somebody with them, or we don't send them. We do the story another way. It's what I do tell reporters. There is no story that's worth their safety. We're not going to compromise their safety for a news story.